Will justice serve? Vybz Kartel case entered Privy Council, now or never. People, family, viewers, subscriber, wagon, welcome back to our brand new video. If you're new to the channel, feel free to subscribe, leave a comment and like this video. Hope everybody having a great night or day. The Vybz Kartel case head to the Privy Council in England, UK, based by the Queen. I mean, they're gonna check the court, everything, the evidence go right down to the T and to the dot. And one of Vybz Kartel representatives, it is Bert Samuel, speak a lot about what is to come in the future for Vybz Kartel in the year 2021, where a lot of things will be released. So we're going to make a way Bert Samuel have to say, which is Vybz Kartel. One of Vybz Kartel
we thought that we had very good grounds, and it was hard on us as a team.
But you seriously thought that you were in with a good chance with that appeal?
Most certainly. Which lawyer who has done their job, which team which has done its job and has found gold, could not feel optimistic.
But this is Jamaica, and you know people want to keep Vybz Kartel where he is.
Well, that's not what the Constitution looks at. It looks at fairness. It doesn't go with the mob.
But the Court of Appeal in September also giving the green light for the matter to be heard by the Privy Council. It could have said no. So Kartel's legal camp, led by the tenacious and somewhat colourful, if not colourblind attorney Bert Samuels, talking up the good news this week. But there's an irony here. Samuels just recently calling for Jamaica to follow the lead of Barbados in sooner than later dumping the British Queen for a homegrown president, whilst also getting rid of the Privy Council in favour of a Caribbean Court of Justice. So, sorry ma'am, time to go, even if your Majesty's judges happen to be my client's only hope. And Bert not batting an eyelid. But first things first, free Kartel or call up popcorn. The entertainer's attorney, something of a showman himself.
Hey, Papi. You there, studio? Hey, you ever set a man to talk about and me run unruly crew? Make them hear you say it.
I would have said them foolish things.
Who are the boss of unruly crew? Straight. We are looking forward to next year. 2021 will be the year.
So distill the major points you will be making to the Privy Council.
Two things. The first is, for a 4-month trial, the longest trial in the history of Jamaica, the jurors were sent out 40 minutes before the end of day. And therefore, they were to return a verdict within 40 minutes for 5 defendants with 26 witnesses with 5,600 pages of evidence in 40 minutes. And you and I know, for one person, jurors for murder usually retire for hours, not minutes. Now we go to the second issue now. There is an allegation that a member of the jury had sought to bribe the others, and that was brought to the judge's attention. The foreman said we have it on tape, but it was not investigated, in our view, properly, and the judge allowed the others to sit with him and deliberate. So what kind of pressure you think is going to come on individuals who are saying, he sought to bribe me, let me show that I wasn't bribed by giving a verdict against that background rather than against the background of the evidence? And another interesting ground is one based on the right to privacy. Now, the phones of the accused were used against them. And there's a process by law that says how you should get this evidence in. The judge didn't deal with that at all.
Vybz Kartel, Sean Storm, the others must be piling on the pressure on you and ISAT and your team to get it right this time.
Well, we always will one day say we always got it right. We will one day say that.
Jamaica should get rid of the Queen, become a republic. You are on record for the removal of the Queen, changing of the Jamaican Constitution. Surely you must be aware of the irony that for justice for Vybz Kartel, you are going to the very symbol of that colonial connection with Jamaica, the Privy Council, for justice for your clients.
Yes, and listen, every morning in the trial they said, God save the Queen, which abhors me. And also, I wish I was going before the Caribbean Court of Justice with this matter as a final appellate court. That is my wish, but I have to work with what I have. You think that Mr. Sean Campbell or Vybz Kartel, is going to say to me, because you don't like the Queen, we don't want you to represent us. Isn't that saying something about the quality of the team?
Maybe that Caribbean court that you desire is going to be very similar to the one in Jamaica that denied you what it is you were seeking. Can we remove the political influence from a Caribbean court? Because what you are assured of when you're dealing with the Privy Council is that they're dealing with the law.
Yes.
With Caribbean courts, you have to wonder sometimes whether politicians are playing their games.
I believe in my people. I went to the University of the West Indies. The Faculty of Law is a regional faculty. I know some of the persons who served on the Caribbean
For some people, that's nothing to cheer about Bert, actually.
Justice Pollard is from Guyana.
Mutty called it the intellectual ghetto.
That's what Mutty, he didn't attend it, so he can't know about it.
Anyway, Vybz Kartel right now is saying God save the Queen.
I've never heard him say that. I don't say it. I hear it in court, and it turns my stomach.
Trinidad is a republic, but they retain the Privy Council. And so for me, I don't have a problem with the Privy Council. In fact, I think that there's no difference between how the CCJ rules and the Privy Council. So it's a matter of optics.
So you differ with your boss? Because he wants the Privy Council gone.
I differ.
He don't like those white people there.
I differ with my mentor on that. I think that the law is much older than Jamaica. We are all learning, both as attorneys, both as judges, and the Privy Council serves its purpose.
What's the record of the Privy Council in dealing with similar sorts of appeals that you are making?
Well, I would say that the majority of criminal appeals have not been allowed, but this one is a special one. This one is special. We have never had a jury which has on it a member who is seeking to bribe the others, and this is brought to the judge's attention, and the case continued.
Perhaps the Privy Council's days in Jamaica are numbered, but is something better on the way. The highest judge in Jamaica now raising the possibility of scrapping the jury system.
You know why it won't happen? Because Paul Bogle and William Gordon were tried by persons other than their peers. 3 white men tried Bogle and hanged him. He wasn't tried by his peers. And I and other Jamaicans will not allow a jury system, which we got the franchise in 1944 to vote, and the jury list comes from that voters list. We will not allow that to happen.
He wants to tighten up the system as a response to COVID.
When we retrofit our hospitals with ventilators to save lives, we retrofit the courtroom for justice. Which judge you know takes the taxi in Halfway Tree? Which judge you know knows about a ghetto life and a ghetto experience? It is when we have the place of optimism and the place of, that we thought that we had very good grounds, and it was hard on us as a team.
But you seriously thought that you were in with a good chance with that appeal?
Most certainly. Which lawyer who has done their job, which team which has done its job and has found gold would not feel optimistic?
But this is Jamaica, and people want to keep Vybz Kartel where he is.
Well, that's not what the Constitution looks at. It looks at fairness. It doesn't go with the mob.
But the Court of Appeal in September also giving the green light for the matter to be heard by the Privy Council. It could have said no, so Kartel's legal camp, led by the tenacious and somewhat colourful, if not colourblind attorney Bert Samuels, talking up the good news this week. But there's an irony here. Samuels just recently calling for Jamaica to follow the lead of Barbados in sooner than later dumping the British Queen for a homegrown president, whilst also getting rid of the Privy Council in favour.
Will Vybz Kartel free? Will Vybz Kartel remain incarceration? What is your thoughts on this whole situation? Is one of his representatives, Bert Samuels, speak about what is the possibility of him being freed and how he highly trusts in his work, what he's doing to get his Vybz Kartel free, but also he doesn't not put a lot of trust into the Privy Council, which is based in England, which is the highest court of Jamaica, in which Bert Samuel stated that in the court they say in the Queen we put everything, you know what I mean? So right there and then it's like Bert Samuel sees something that's going on that a lot of persons are yet to see, you know what I mean? But everybody is very optimistic to see what's going to happen. And Bert Samuel said everything will be relieved in the year 2021. And that is not far away from now. Year 2021 is just around the corner. But which month? Will Vybz Kartel be freed? Everything will be answered. But leave your comment down in the comment section what you think about this case with Vybz Kartel.